Good evening, everyone. And for those who are in the audience and to all of you, Happy New Year. It's our first council meeting of 2026. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season. And we're all staying out of town hall and every town building except this one because none of us want the flu. So let me call to order the regular meeting of the Town Council of the Town of Clarkdale for Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Clark Memorial Clubhouse. Roll call, Vice Mayor Hunsetter.
Here.
Councilmember Babbitt Pierce.
Present.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Present.
And please note, Mayor Prudhomme Bauer is here. We have a quorum. Let's move on to item 3, which is public comment. The town council invites the public to provide comment at this time. Members of the public council of the town council may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to any criticism, or scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date. If you are going to speak to an item on the agenda, please hold your comments to that time. Each speaker is asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes unless a different amount is noted on the agenda or determined by the presiding officer or a majority vote of the council, commission, or a committee at this moment, the council. So does anybody wish to make public comment? Please come up and state your name and if you're a Clarkdale resident.
I'm Jeannie Baird. I live in Lowertown. Thank you, Madam. Now, let's see if I can get this right. Madam Mayor, council members, Susan. This may not be in the agenda right now, but it should fit in there somewhere. I just want to thank you for the letter, the small talk, and for the town letter every Friday. I know so many of my neighbors that don't come to these meetings count on reading those notes. And so I appreciate that. And thanks to all of you, as you know, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Dumont.
If I appreciate you too.
Thank you. Is there anybody else wishing to make public comment? Anybody online, Charity? Nobody's online. I see nobody else coming up to the microphone. Let's move on to item 4, which is reports. First item is current events. In your packet are a brief summary of everything that all of us did over the last month. Even though December seemed to be holiday season, I see there was a lot of activity of all of us during that month. So let's move on to organizational reports. Item B, VVTPO, Verde Valley Transportation Planning Organization.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We had our meeting last week. It was a really good meeting for the first one of the year. Lots of plans to work with our legislators to get the rural transportation bill through the House. And thank you so much to Vice Mayor Hunsetter for attending the NACOG meeting on Tuesday with legislators.
Great, thank you. Yes, I'm very impressed with VVTPO's organization and planning ahead for several items.
I just gave you the report for TPAC.
Okay, yes, you did.
Sorry, too many transportation planning groups. VVTPO will be meeting in February, and we will be doing the ADOT listening tour.
Right.
And Mayor, you'll be joining me, Town Manager Guthrie, and Lou Anderson from Public Works.
Right. Great.
Sorry
Thank you. So just note that we just had the TPAC report also. So you don't have to do it again. How's that? Okay.
But on TPAC, I just want to make sure that you mentioned that Councilmember Babbitt Pierce was elected as chairperson of that committee.
Yes. Thank you very much for stepping up to that leadership and that's for TPAC, correct? Thank you. Okay, NACOG, Northern Arizona Council of Governments.
No meeting.
No meeting, but you have an event coming up down in Phoenix, correct?
Legislative Day with the other two COGs down there that are organizing it.
Okay, great, thank you. NAMWA, Northern Arizona Municipal Waters Users Association.
There's a technical advisory committee meeting that I attended via Zoom, and we have our board meeting this Friday.
Gotcha, thank you. Verde Front Leadership Council meets, our first meeting of the year is February 17th. Prior to that is what we call the All Partners Meeting, and I believe council members were sort of shared a list of the different subcommittees. If there are any you're interested in, please do sign up. I think we're trying to get them more aligned with the goals of Verde Front, so your participation would be much appreciated if you're interested. Sustaining Flows Committee,
No meeting.
Yavapai Community for Young Children,
No meeting?
Vulnerable Users Emphasis Area.
Yes, we met last week. We are electing a new chair and a new vice chair, and there is a fantastic ADOT safety website. I will share it with Charity and have her share it with the council.
Great, thank you. NACOG Community Action,
No meeting.
Cottonwood Airport Noise Working Group.
We can officially take it off. The Cottonwood City Council has determined they will not renew the airport noise working group.
Yavapai County Water Resources and Open Space Committee, our first meeting will be January 20th. It's a long meeting, it's like 3 hours. And the county has chosen a group to help facilitate our discussions, and it is SDR Southwest. Yeah, Decision Resources. They have done quite a bit of facilitation around Yavapai County, so I look forward to that meeting getting started. As you know, we're not sure what the organization is going to be of the meeting, and at this time, I'll be representing us until we kind of get it figured out, and maybe at that point, I'll keep us abreast. If there's at some time we need to change who should be our best representative, hopefully that will shake out as we go through this formation stage. Let's move on to number 5, which is reports, departmental reports. Those were all in our packet. That include our building permit report, grants report, human resources report, magistrate court report, Parks and Recreation report, police department report, Verde Valley Humane Society, water and wastewater report, and our finance report. Are there any questions about the reports that were in our packet? It shows our revenues are kind of okay.
Actually, I got a further update from Brittany. Just we're projecting that we're meeting budget in almost every account. So, there's been some fluctuation with the building permits, but at this point, we're on pace to meet
everything.
budget. So all good.
Yeah, everything looks
Shop
good
for the money.
around that. Sales tax is about where we thought, a little bit low, but not extremely off.
Yeah, we're on pace.
Okay. So let's move on to consent agenda. We have one item on consent this evening. That's the approval of the minutes from December 9th. Is there any questions or comments on that item? Does anybody wish to pull it for discussion? Okay, if not, I'll take a motion to approve consent agenda item A.
I move that we approve consent agenda items 6A.
Okay, second. Okay, it's been moved by Vice Mayor Hunsetter and seconded by Councilmember Babbitt Pierce to approve consent agenda item A as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to new business. 2025 financial audit. We're here to discuss, consider, and act upon the annual audited financial statements, annual expenditure limitation report, and single audit report as presented by Hinton Burdick. Welcome. And
you.
introduce yourself to all of us.
Mayor, my name is Steve Palmer. I'm the audit partner that had the opportunity to oversee this last audit of the town of Clarkdale for fiscal year 25. So this would be for the time period that covers July 1st, 2024 through June 30, 2025. And thank you for inviting me to speak with you tonight and have a discussion on the results of the audit. And I saw that Brittany has joined us virtually. So if she has any comments, those would be welcome as well. I'd really like to thank Brittany for all of her help as we completed the audit. She took the brunt of it. An audit is not an easy process. Lots of questions. We request a lot of documents. Just want to make sure that the financial statements are materially correct. And we spend a lot of time and put in a lot of effort to make that determination.
And let me just note for the minutes that Brittany Earls is online and a part of the discussion.
Right.
Thank you.
We can advance to the next slide. The financial statements are broken into three major sections. The management discussion and analysis. And in this section, Brittany specifically, and I'm sure that she discussed it with the town manager as well, they're able to give kind of their overview of what happened during the fiscal year. It presents some consolidated, condensed financial information as well, just some dialogue as to what occurred within the town in the last fiscal year. Then we get into the actual audited statements themselves. First being the government-wide financial statements. These are presented on the full accrual basis of accounting, just like a for-profit entity. It has capital assets, it has long-term debt. It's measured on the full accrual basis of accounting. Then we have the fund financial statements. And within these statements, the governmental funds, which would be like the general fund, the HERF, special revenue funds, they're presented on the modified accrual basis of accounting, where it's more based on, it's not quite a cash basis. It's called modified accrual, but it does not take into account capital assets and long-term debt being the most significant. It deals more with current financial resources and current financial obligations. That's what we see in the fund financial statements. So there's those distinct sections in the town's financial statements. We can advance to the next slide. As part of our work, we are required to issue these reports. The first being the independent auditor's report. And it's within this report where we express our opinion on the financial statements as a whole. And if they're materially correct, and if in our opinion, they present fairly the town's financial position and the results of its operation for the year under audit. I'm pleased to report that we issued an unmodified opinion here. That's what you want. Sometimes it's called a clean opinion, meaning that in our opinion, the financial statements are materially correct. Governmental auditing standards require us to issue the second report on internal control over financial reporting and on compliance. There are a couple different degrees of findings that could potentially be issued in this report. Material weaknesses and significant deficiencies being the most significant. I'm pleased to report that nothing came to our attention that needed to be reported in either of those categories. We also give a report on state legal compliance. Probably the biggest portion of this is whether or not the town spent the HERF monies properly, highway user revenue funds. That takes up a big piece of that report, and I'm pleased to tell you tonight that we did not have any findings there either. We're also required to issue a report to the state on the expenditure limitation and whether or not the town exceeded the expenditure limitation. I'm pleased to report there were no issues there either. And last but not least, where the town received a significant amount of money from federal sources, we had to do a federal single audit. In any year the town expends $1 million or more of federal monies, we have to do some additional procedures. And the town was required to do those this past year. And again, no issues there. So clean audit.
5 for 5.
5 for 5. Okay, if we can just look at the town's finances from a very high level, we're not going to get into the details, but just a very high level. This is the trend for the general fund, the balance sheet, assets, liabilities, and equity over the past 5 years. You can see that assets are that top line, equity being the line just underneath it that mirrors it, and liabilities being the pink line. You can see that overall, it's been a positive trend over the past 5 years. Assets did dip a little bit in 2025. That's not to be unexpected. The town is not, the general fund is not in business to create net income every year. It's to provide for the needs of the citizens. So in a year where the town decides to expend some of those resources on needed services for the citizens, you might see a dip. It's not cause for alarm, but you do want to watch the trend over time to make sure it's not consistently decreasing. But it looks great.
Yeah.
And if we can go in the revenues and expenditures for the general fund. There you go. There was a spike in revenues in 2024 because I want to say $2 million was transferred into the general fund from other funds last year. And that did not happen in 2025. That's why you see that spike and then the decrease back to a more normal level in 2025. And you can also see that the expenditures also increased. And that's also to be expected where we saw the decrease in assets. You'd expect to see an increase in expenditures as those assets were utilized for functions of the town. We can go to the next one. Here we have the water fund. Again, the top, this is revenues and expenses. The top line is the revenues. You can see there was a little increase in 2025 as there was a rate increase that went into effect that caused revenues to go up, and operating expenses also increased, mainly due to salaries, wages, and employee benefits. And if we go to the next slide, this is the cash trend in the water fund. Overall, it's been very stable over the past 5 years with an overall positive trend. And here's the wastewater fund. Operating revenues, very positive. Last year, revenues and expenditures, I mean, it was nip and tuck.
Right.
This year, revenues outpaced expenditures, so that's a positive trend. And there was a small rate increase in the wastewater fund as well. If we go to the next slide, and there's the cash trend for wastewater. We can advance it. Now, I put this slide in. When you look at the town's fund balance or net position, the equity, if you take the town's assets, subtract the liabilities, that residual amount being the equity, this breaks out the components of fund balance for the governmental funds and net position for the enterprise funds. It just helps visualize what may actually be available for spending and what isn't. For example, if you look at the wastewater fund, there's total net position of $6.5 million, but $6 million of that is tied up in capital assets, undepreciated capital assets. It's not necessarily in spendable form. Even though there is large fund balance or net position, it's not really spendable. And that's what this graph, I thought it would be interesting for you to look at. So you can look at those different components of fund balance and what may or may not be available.
I think this is our town manager's one of her most favorite slides. It is.
So I'm not going to go through each one of those line items individually unless you'd like me to. It's more just for your reference so you can see those different components of fund balance. Any questions there? Anything you want me to delve into any deeper? Okay.
Any questions so far?
All right. We can advance to the next slide. Here's my contact information.
Okay.
If anything comes up through the year, please feel free to reach out to me. Of course, I cannot make management decisions as the auditor, but I can be a sounding board. If something comes up and you just like my professional opinion, I'm happy to give that to you. Please reach out. I'd love to be a resource to the town. And with that, any questions?
Any questions to Stephen or to Brittany? Brittany, are you able to talk?
I'm here.
Any comments you'd like to make, Brittany?
I just really want to thank Stephen. He made my first audit process very smooth and easy and kind of held my hand through it. So much more confident going into next year, exactly what they're looking for. So thank you.
Thank you, Brittany.
Any comments from council?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for coming down today and explaining that. And thank you to the team for always coming through with a clean audit. So I appreciate that. It makes our job a lot easier.
Yes.
And I just want to compliment Brittany because sometimes when there is a change in leadership, things just get mixed up and it's not intentional. It just happens. So congratulations on a clean audit in a year of change.
Very good.
Any other comments? I'd echo that exactly. Going from one finance director to another. Brittany, you did absolutely fabulous to, pull this all together with also a new auditor.
Right.
So having everybody kind of in new positions, taking fresh a look at all of this, and staff that supported Brittany in getting the information needed. This is great. We love seeing this kind of audit. I think we've had this most of the time with somebody's always been able to find one little small thing, but it was nothing major. And this one showed how clean and how good we run our financials and how aware we are of what's going on. And I think, I know I read this wonderful document. Yes, Brittany, I did. I think most everybody did in the room. We're used to it. We like to know where we stand financially because as much as our town manager likes that fund balance slide, we do too.
Yeah.
Because that to us and the graphs were wonderful to see that we are growing as a town. We're financially healthy and we're investing in those things that are important, not just to us, but to our community. And I really like seeing those trends like that. So I appreciate those graphs being developed for us. Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you, for the work you have done. And yeah, truly, it's a high five for us.
I agree.
We did great. Your team did great. Brittany, tell everybody thank you so much for this wonderful audit we have tonight.
Thank you for letting me be here tonight.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for coming. Look forward to working with you next year. Thank you, Brittany, again.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Audits. We need a motion on this. Excuse me, I didn't do the motion on this one. So if there's no question, I do need a motion to approve.
Madam Mayor,
Mhm.
I move that we approve the annual audited financial statements, annual expenditure limitations report, and single audit act report as presented by Hinton Burdick CPAs and advisors.
Hey, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Babbitt Pierce and seconded by Councilmember O'Neill to approve the annual audit and financial statements, annual expenditure limitations report, and single audit act report as presented by Hinton Burdick CPA and advisors. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Brittany. Okay, let's move on to item 7B, which is ordinance number 447, zoning code amendment to chapter 4, general provisions. This has to do with amending our zoning code related to medical marijuana, and Community Development Director Scott Ellis will speak to this topic. Hi, Scott.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Mayor, Council. As you mentioned, this is ordinance 447, which is chapter 4 regarding marijuana. This is basically just a housekeeping item. March of 25, Senate Bill 1105 was passed by the legislature, signed into law, and it just included preschools and childcare facilities. Where a dispensary cannot locate within 500 feet. So we're just adding that to the code. Pretty simple. Let me see. There was one more thing that I did want to mention that I don't think has been brought up to council before. Charity, if you wouldn't mind going to the slide on the effect on cost of housing. So I know this doesn't have anything to do with marijuana, but it is required to be stated at a council meeting before you adopt an ordinance that any changes to the zoning ordinance does not affect the cost of housing. So the statement is up there. That's basically all it is. You'll see that with any zoning ordinance changes that come before you.
Okay.
And that's really all I have, unless you have any questions. Pretty simple, quick one.
Is there any questions on this? This is not affecting housing.
It is not. But a couple years ago, the state made it a requirement that no matter what change it is within the zoning ordinance, the statement has to be part of, or at least publicly stated at the council meeting.
Gotcha. So we just have to state this, that any ordinance, zoning change ordinance is not affecting the cost of constructing housing.
Correct. Or on the flip side, if we bring you one that could potentially, then we'll have to state that it could potentially affect that cost. But that's case by case basis as we
Okay.
move forward through these. So, but this one does not.
The change is very simple in this one. So any questions for Scott? Okay, if not, we'll take a motion on this one also.
Got it. I move that we approve ordinance 447, amending chapter 4, general provisions, section 4-230, recreational and medical marijuana of the town zoning code, and authorize the mayor, town attorney, and town clerk to execute all documents.
There a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Vice Mayor Hunsetter and seconded by Councilmember Jones to approve ordinance 447, amending chapter 4 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you,
you.
Scott. Okay, let's move on to item 8, which is possible vote to enter into executive session. The council may vote to discuss the following matters in executive session pursuant to ARS Section 38-431-03A3, discussion and consultation for legal advice with the attorney or attorneys of the public body, and/or ARS Section 38-431-03A7, discussion and consultations with designated representatives of the public body in order to consider its position and instruct its representatives regarding negotiations for the purchase, sale, or lease of real property. 2 items on executive session tonight are the Bonnats Trail Warehouse and Downtown Retail, space. My mouth is not working very well tonight. So with that, I will take a motion to enter into executive session.
Madam Mayor, I move we go into executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Got it.
It's, we have a motion to enter into executive session. All those in, all those in favor of the motion from Councilmember Jones and second by Councilmember Babbitt Pierce, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, we are in executive session at 6:29 PM. So what we'll do, we're going to go into that room and we'll be back when we're done. So we are in executive session. My brain is just went off. We are back in regular session at 7:18 PM. Resuming the items on our agenda, item number 9. We have 2 items. The first one is Benott's Trail Warehouse, and I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I move that pursuant to Arizona Statute 9.402, that we prepare to receive bids on approximately 10,200 square feet of parcel number 400.06.027B.
Okay. Is
I'll
there,
second.
okay.
Well said.
A motion has been made by Councilmember Jones and second by Councilmember O'Neill to pursuant to ARS 9.402, the going out for bid on approximately 10,000 square feet on parcel number 400-06-027B. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. And on item B, downtown retail space, proceed, that item is proceed as directed. Let's move on to item 10, future agenda items. Charity has put forward the schedule of upcoming items. Is there anything to add to future agenda items? Anything that you want to discuss that's not on here? Hearing none, seeing none, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Babbitt Pierce, seconded by Vice Mayor Hunstetter to adjourn the meeting at 7:20 PM. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you all very much. And we are adjourned.
Hey, Brittany, can you hear me? Nod your head. Do you have the digital version of the audit that you can email all the council members? Thank you.
Also go on the website now that they're approved.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Now log out and go to bed. Get well.
Oh, I'm fine. Thank
All right.
you.